Have you ever wondered how some people are able to just breeze through their day, staying productive, energized, and always on top of things while you're there just trying to catch up to it all? Well, it's not by mistake. Actually, it's done with the right habits implemented throughout your daily routine. And in this video, we're gonna be showing you exactly how to do this. My name is Jun Yu. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Why do we even need a routine? Well, Mel Robbins says it best in a quote that reads, "Never let your mood dictate what you do. Always take action first, because movement changes your mood." That's what a routine does for you. It forces you to move, to curate that momentum, and these habits become anchor points throughout your day that ensure that you stay on track all throughout it. And so in this video, we're gonna show you how to do that, but you'll realize that it's actually not as overwhelming as you might first seem, and even the smallest changes can make the largest differences, and that you can start to implement immediately and benefit right away. I want you to take 10 seconds here to comment one habit that's made a positive impact in your life, because I, along with the rest of the family and community here, wanna learn from you. I believe when we can speak through our own experiences, we may be able to pick up on things, and perhaps by the end of the video, you'll have some other habits that you can work in conjunction with the one that you've already commented. If you have any questions below, you can leave that in the comments as well. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Tip number one, the 10-minute rule. This rule states that you will not touch your phone for the first 10 minutes of you waking up. I know right now you likely have your phone as the alarm clock in order for you to get your day started. We're going to change that. I want you to get a separate alarm clock. I'm saying this because for many years, I've struggled with this, and it's had drastic negative impacts on my mood, on my productivity, on my focus, and I don't want that for you. Because the whole idea, Mel Robbins' quote in the very beginning, was for you to move. What does spending 30 minutes doom scrolling on your phone first thing in the morning do? The complete opposite. It keeps you stagnant, and that makes it really difficult for you to actually get the day going. And so if you can have a separate alarm clock, perhaps even have your phone completely away from the bed, this is going to allow you to spend that 10 minutes perhaps opening up your blinds, going into your kitchen, getting a glass of water, literally anything. I don't care what you do within those first 10 minutes, but please do not touch your phone. And you'll find that when you get to the 11th minute, this desire to check your phone tends to dissipate, right? And you start to focus on what's really important, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your current present experiences. And that's a much better way for you to, again, have the movement to curate the momentum versus you spending 30 minutes doom scrolling and trying to listen into everything else that's going on in this world. So for the first 10 minutes, do not touch your phone. This is a non-negotiable. I understand how tempting it can be because it starts off really innocently, like, oh no, I'll just go check my Instagram for X, Y, and Z thing. You see one negative post and that gets you in the comments there, and you're watching another video, another video, another video, another video, another video. And it just makes you really lethargic, and it does negatively impact your mood, so don't do that. Number two, the peak productivity window. And I have said this probably for the last 2 years, but it's for a really good reason, right? Because it has such a large impact on my productivity. And to be honest, it's one of those things where it allows me to make mistakes throughout the remainder of the day. What do I mean by that? Well, the peak productivity window is simply a 90-minute to a 3-hour block in which I am leveraging for my most demanding tasks, right? So this is a non-negotiable for me. I don't care what meetings I have, I don't care what presentations, I don't care where I'm flying out to, I don't care what event I have to host or be a part of, I don't care. Those 90 minutes to 3 hours, that's my time, right? That's my time for my businesses and to ensure that I can be my most productive self, right? But what happens after those 90 minutes to 3 hours? Well, I've gotten a good amount of things done, right? I've done the things that are actually going to move the needle. And if I'm not perfect for the rest of the day, if I want to take a nap at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. when nap time comes around, I can do that, right? I might have something spontaneous come up. My friends might ask me to go out to dinner, and although it might not be the best decision, I can still do it because I know that I did the most demanding things that morning. And so I don't care how tired you are that morning. I don't care your feelings and experiences in that moment. Seriously, just do the peak productivity window, and you can do whatever you want for the remainder of the day. If you have an opportunity to have multiple windows throughout the day, then obviously you're gonna be more productive. But starting your day off like that is like ripping off a Band-Aid, right? It's hard at first, but when you do it and you're done with it, you're like, yeah, I I did that. I can be proud of myself for it. So there's great ways that you can enhance your focus here the night before. You can ensure that you've done your due diligence in regards to reducing the friction to get started. So maybe that's already having the tabs open on your laptop. It might be having your assignments or your papers up and ready to go. It might be having your notebook or your stationery clean, just so that when you can wake up, get into your peak productivity window session, you feel good, and set the tone for your productivity moving forward in the remainder of the day. Tip number 3, get ready. I know a lot of us work from home, and I work from home, and that carries with it a lot of benefits. Now, one of those benefits meaning that if I don't want to necessarily get ready, I don't have to get ready, but I have found that that is troublesome, right? Because Deion Sanders has this quote, and he's an ex-football player. He was known for his swagger, and he now coaches college football, the Colorado team specifically. And he has this quote that reads, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good, right? And it's just this idea that when you look in the mirror and you feel confident about what you see, it makes an impact, right? It makes an impact on the way you work. It makes an impact on your mood, on your energy. And I found this, right? If I haven't washed my face and it's 3 p.m. and I'm on a meeting, yes, I can hide it with a hat and you can't necessarily see the grime of my face when I'm on a laptop camera. So I can get away with it. But when I am all put together, right? When I have my hair done, when I have just a nicer t-shirt on, I feel better, right? And as part of my job, I do a lot of content. So when I post stories and stuff, I can just put my phone up and just start recording, and I feel good about the way I look. Like, it makes a difference. And I think that when I do dress up, or when I do my hair, when I do my skincare, when I have this, I feel better about myself and I feel much more productive, right? I genuinely feel that that's probably the case for a lot of people. Yeah, I get the convenience side of not having to get ready if you don't need to, but I would say just spend like 10, 15 minutes doing your thing, and you'll have an opportunity to hopefully capitalize on that momentum throughout the remainder of the day. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I am just a surface level individual where looks matter to myself and the way but I think it's probably something that's a bit more universal. There's even individuals now where I have told this to them, and when I see them in the library, when I see them in the cafe, they are dressed up, and it's just cool. It's like, yeah, I know it makes an impact on you because I want you to feel good in your own skin, and I know that you can be more productive like that. So that 10, 15 minutes I think does compound over the little span of the day if you use it right, if you use it to get ready slightly, right? Tip number 4, use night alarms. We all know about morning alarms, but often we don't do the same thing for ourselves at night. And what we need is good quality sleep and a good amount of it, right? And the worst thing that you could possibly do is have one productive day where you're feeling really energized and on top of everything, and then the next day feel horrible because you were too extreme the day prior. Like, I hate that. I want you to be consistent, steadfast. I don't want you to be somebody that lives on these constant peaks and valleys. Like, it's the worst for yourself, health-wise, productivity-wise, longevity-wise. So don't do that. In order for you to have that consistent cadence, you actually need to get the good amount of sleep. So yes, morning alarms are good for when you wake up, but how do you ensure that you actually get the amount of sleep that you need and the quality sleep? Well, it's two sides of the same coin. You need to sleep at the same time, and hopefully a regular time. That's going to ensure that you have the 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep. So there's 2 night alarms that I use. The first night alarm tells me it's time to wind down, right? So that means to wrap up my meeting, or to wrap up, I get lost in like TV shows sometimes, or movies, or I get wrapped up in messaging my girlfriend, I get wrapped up in whatever I'm doing often, because I get very intense and absorbed in the moment. But that first night alarm is like, all right, cool. Like, I gotta end this conversation, I gotta end the movie, I gotta end the meeting, I gotta end the assignment, and then just start to wash up. And then the second night alarm is like, all right, now it's time to get to bed, and I'll be in bed, and that's when I go to sleep. And that really does help me program myself to have that specific cadence that I'm looking for. And this is very regular, right? So even throughout the weekends, I have the exact same thing, because again, the amount of sleep that we get, the quality of sleep is really important. And there's a reason why I do this whole like 2 alarm thing, right? Because when I wind down, it's like, all right, can we start to turn off some screens, right? So we can allow our bodies to be able to produce the melatonin properly, so that again, when we get to bed, we feel sleepy and tired, and we're not necessarily in a state of anxiety and a state of stress. Like, I don't want that to be your situation. I've experienced that for quite a long time in my life, and I found that these 2 night alarms does the job for me, and hopefully that's something you can implement for yourself as well. Tip number 5, mindfulness. I know that meditation and breathing techniques and all of that tends to be a cliche, but guys, it's a cliche for a reason, right? I find myself extremely stressed at moments because I'm an overthinker, and what I do naturally tends to carry a lot of stress because I have a lot of responsibility. But I sometimes have to just check myself and realize, yeah, let's slow it down a little bit. June, it's not going to be the end of the world. June, I know it's so stressful, but it's actually not going to kill you to take a quick second and to think about perspective, right? And I know that when you think of the word meditation, you're probably like you have to cross your legs, you have to have your hand out, and you've never done it before, it's really uncomfortable. No, there's a lot of guided meditations on YouTube. There's a lot of breathing techniques that are walkthroughs on YouTube, so you have there's even non-sleep deep rest protocols on YouTube. Like, there's a lot of things that will actually guide you, so you don't have to necessarily do it on your own. And it's a really good way to get initiated into it. But there are 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and they make a huge difference, right? Prayer is another good example of this, but like, seriously, like, I know your days are stressful, but when you're constantly pent up, you have to understand you have a cap to how much stress tolerance you can hold at one moment. So if you're constantly bridging on the cap, it's extremely dangerous, right? And that's how you get burnt out. And one breathing session might just bring you from hitting that cap a little bit down, right? And allows you to actually be happier or a little bit more energized, or more focused, or more productive throughout the remainder of the day. So yeah, I know in that moment you're like, the last thing I want to do is take a break, but take a break, for goodness sake. It'll be well worth it. And try out those videos on YouTube. Tip number 6, and I have to include this, it's my 4 wins, hashtag June's 4 wins. And I know that thousands of individuals now across the world are doing this. I was in Japan for Red Bull Basement World Finals, and I was a judge there. I was walking around in the city. The people in Japan were coming up to me and saying, oh, the 4 wins, like, I do that and that's changed my life. Amazing. It makes me so happy. And I know people in Philadelphia are doing it. I know people in LA. I know people in Korea. Like, there's a reason why people are doing it, because when you can have holistic health with your mind, your body, your spirit, only done through honest accountability, when you get those 4 things done and have that in check on a daily basis, man, do you become a powerhouse, right? Because you're no longer swayed by the distractions of the world. You're no longer somebody that gets sold on anything. Like, you're so internally strong that you are so confident in your own being. So when I'm up on that stage at the Red Bull Basement World Finals, like the biggest stage in central Tokyo, I'm like, man, yes, this is nerve-wracking as heck, but the preparation has been done. Like, the 4 wins is what got me here. The 4 wins is what I'm gonna do that day. The 4 wins is what I'm gonna do even when I feel horrible. The 4 wins is what I'm gonna do when I feel incredible. And that's just my steadfast ability to kind of be consistent in my day-to-day. And I really encourage you to do it. So a 15-minute mental win, a 15-minute spiritual win, a 45-minute physical win, and a 15-minute honest accountability win. I've talked about this exhaustively, but it's for a good reason, so I really hope you give it a shot. With that being said, that wraps up all the tips in regards to how can you best implement habits throughout your daily routine that will make an impact. And I really do believe that those are going to help you do just that. So I know we made a comment in the very beginning in regards to that one habit that you've already implemented that's made a big difference. I want you to now comment, is there something here that can also be helpful to you that you might have already tried, you found benefit in, or you've never heard of and now you're going to implement? I'm super excited to hear your thoughts. I'll be sure to respond to them below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This YouTube thing has become such a fun aspect to my weekly schedule, and I look forward to it every single time. So I love you guys, and until next time, please take care of yourselves. I love you guys so much, and I will see you all at the top.